here.
People went away now, but Chinese people went away.
Silence, guys. We need to start the program. 10 seconds. We have 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. We are here now for the
Chinese.
New York City Anarchist Bookfair virtual workshops. We start today our workshop with artists in China together with GRATA, our fellows, lover, amazing, happy. We are here in Pitt. No, yesterday was an amazing day for the anarchists here in New York. I mean, we are now in China with these amazing artists and GRATA. Please, Al and Taja, we are really happy to have you guys here with us and this challenging situation in China too. Oh my God, everybody's here. Al, Taja, everybody, Al GRATA, and the artists in China, no? Hey!
Yeah.
Yeah, and China festival organizer.
Yeah. 那个小姑娘呢？过来，小主持过来，继续表演。
Let's do it again.
两个人会说英语。
Same thing again.
什么意思 ？Again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you happy with that?
I'm happy. We are happy. Yeah.
No, good.
We
Você tá
started our
gravando?
festival here.
Yeah. We are. Yeah. So one work today I just done. Yeah. We just today go to the history. Old history center 30. So, my name is Tai Chi. I'm a curator for the G10 Performance Festival. Today, just 听不清楚，有点像。
没有声音啊。
我跪下来，没有声音，不需要声音，就是一个过程。Yes. 你准备好了别的吗？ 他说就是刚才你放过了，你再来一遍啊，可以，也都可以。他因为刚才没弄好，现在让大家再来一遍啊。OK， 等一下，我没了，我走了你就上来啊，我走了你就上来啊，等我到完了你就上来。OK， 等一下，差一点了，到完了你就上来。Yeah， One by one. I'll do again.
Okay.
Yeah, you come.
Mine.
Again? You mean again?
Amazing. I love this work.
Yeah, I love this work. Okay. 我都找到。那个邓震啊，那些作品刚才弄过，再重来一遍。
I'm Zhuyu. I will go to New York 7th.
Please, let's do it.
刚才再来一遍啊！就是他好像节目现在才开始，要再来一遍啊！对。
可以看那个最后的，让他看最后的部分。
Okay, next one.
Next one.
Yeah.
I to become a killer. Then I can show what was happening here.
我操，这不凑出效果了？怎么不动了？ Special effect. You see before it's different.
Okay. I'm gonna, yeah, and when this is over, I'm gonna do
yeah. Very well. Yeah, 你好了。
Okay, next one.
你好了。
Okay, turn to you.
this.
邓震 from Beijing.
Land art.
Yeah, that one's so cool.
Good.
It's 你刚刚说一下，是这个 A4 会印。
The white paper. You know, in China have a white paper moment. Yeah, happened.
Wow. Yeah.
有个白纸运动，这是你一个做 paper. He used A4 paper, and then I think the years man, the 2020 23 because 24. Please make that one. Okay.
Great.
Amazing. 对了，
不说要中国艺术家吗？
没有，这都是节日有关的。啊，
Yeah, it's so crazy, man.
OK，
哎，你有啊？你有什么
可以，我这个 My second part，
？One second part. Yeah.
哎，
也可以。
OK，
有啊。
wait，他走不起来。
Second part. Work from second part.
他two OK，
Okay. Now first that one. Art community. Yeah.
What you have in your feet?
Yeah. It's a part of performance.
Okay.
你再找啊，再找，等一下，上吧。还有谁啊？谁的东西上啊？好，找。
My part two，
我找个男杆的。你可以动吗？你们可以动吗？
That's great.
Thank you. Okay, is another one. Okay.
Oh, non-brother exhibition.
Hey!
Non-brother exhibition. Yeah. In G10 performance space of non-brother.
Non grata.
Non-brother.
Yeah, yes, I
Brother show. Good. Yeah. Look. Very strong.
Wow.
Okay. More.
Who's in that?
Do you think it's better to put down the light, the people can see better? Or not? Whatever
Yeah.
you decide.
Okay.
Yes. Huh? What do you think, Melon?
你看看过了
Okay,
大
next one.
大
他翻不过来。
还没完，快一点。
Okay. Chinese Monkey King. Monkey King marriage.
Yeah, 有这个图。
You can also
Yeah.
talk about meaning of the word. And because in picture they don't really understand.
Oh, yes. Yes, but I don't well. This work is about reality and 现实和理想的 and ideal different.
Yeah, right.
What?
没有了，怎么
And
样
what
？Non-brother
else?
Non-brother.
Yeah.
You look like the dog.
就是全世界的艺术家哈。然后做通讯的发展。
Is that incense? They're lighting?
Yes.
The background is an exhibition. See? 还有吗？
我看看他这个
这是谁的？
这个就是那个印度
而且
人
上有过，
没有了。
Okay, I'm going to say it's.
You do.
Uh-huh. Wow. Madame, let's see. Let's see.
That's the movie.
I thought, but I want, this is the part of it.
Okay, guys.
Yeah?
Where is it?
No, that we have technical problems.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about a little bit now about...
Maxi, I know you, Maxi.
Hey! Hey, Al, again. Hey.
That's it. You see?
Yeah, hey.
Guys, look.
Hey, you want to move? You must carefully, very carefully.
Okay, very.
Very carefully.
But look, guys. Let's start here the workshop. Tell me how challenge is in China to do art or how things, because Al have been talking to us about how challenge is, and I'd like to hear a little bit about that. Al, and please,
I think we have to keep this a little bit more abstract because these technical issues here. It's like we have been here now 3 days, and today already was here secret police and taking pictures of every page of every book and every exhibit. So they have heard about this festival. This performance is now not allowed in China. In Beijing, you can't make performances anymore at all. So that because it's like moved to smaller places around China and you can't really announce them. So you have to kind of do them in smaller circles and mouth to mouth advertising. Because if you advertise it kind of for big masses, then they're going to shut it down. And today already the organizers said that we have to stay inside next 2 nights, not go out because the secret police keeping eye on the festival.
That's crazy, Al.
And look, here are all the people. Here is the Hantao. Yeah, here is look. But here, I'm gonna go a little bit around and show the surroundings. Everything here is very big, not like in New York, very small. Huh? Kind of look, this museum is 4 floors, like huge building. It's like this is one man museum, and this is like MoMA in New York. No, so everybody have this kind of studio. This is one man studio here, like kind of. You can see Antao works. We were looking now underground films of China, Antao cinema, and like these films are also stopped by government. Now he has the Bone series. Look, everybody's bones, the backbone of the society. Yeah. You have to be very brave here to organize things because this movement is really keeping eye on everything. But artists are quite open, but they don't really speak any English, so it's kind of, you can see, here is discussions.
This guy is my friend.
Yeah, good. And here is old masters.
Okay.
Yeah.
天山控，你好，
天山控，
天山控，
天山控。
台湾是洞。Yeah, he's famous guy. Okay. 那个
But of course, people don't make any compromises in the program, so kind of performances are challenging and emerging, and everything is going well. And let's see how it goes now when this secret police is kind of put the eye on it. But we have 4 festivals coming. One is here, the next one in Xi'an, then in Shanghai, then Jinzhajin. Yeah, and Chungzhong Art Village in Beijing. So it's quite quickly we have to move one place to another, then kind of you keep out of problems. You make your work quickly and run. Yeah, that's the philosophy here, and for all of the
make the work fast and run because the police is really on the top of everything. And
Yeah.
tell me more. How is the camouflage situation you need to do to manage to the police, and then you can be able to do your performance?
yeah, sometimes it's here is this kind of practice that you announce performance example at 6 o'clock, but you make it at 5 o'clock. So if police comes, it's already over.
Shit.
Kind of, this is the one that technical thing. So what else? You can maybe tell more about how it is to be performance artist in China.
Oh, it is in China.
You,
It's difficult to me. I think it's impossible here. But you can do. There is a lot of line, red line. You couldn't pick it. You couldn't kick it. Or it's you will done. Do you know Gao brother is being taken prison? Yes. And do you know him?
Tell me more about his work. Why he is in prison? Tell me more why he is in prison.
Because his work is political.
Yeah.
Political.
But it's saying to me how looks like his work.
Oh,
Why he
his
needed to
work
be in
is
prison.
about Mao.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
Said long
but it's a history. His work
Long
history.
time ago.
More than 10 years ago work.
But now,
Yeah, but now people find it that's his work. Then when he go to New York on the airport, was being prison.
Wow.
Yeah, and then now
He got prison when he come in New York.
yes, I will. He will. He want to come to New York on the way on that moment on the airport. The moment was being prison.
Airport in China, right?
The second day, it published that it posted that he is where? Which prison?
Very strong man. The very first.
So right now, hello. So right now we have to carefully when we make art, especially performance art. We couldn't touch red line. We couldn't do dumb. We couldn't bam a lot. We couldn't do blah blah blah. We couldn't do art. Oh wait.
All right.
Yes, like this. And then that's all we can do. What we can do? Do you think?
No freedom.
Yes, and some even when we don't do political work, they will think, "What's this? What's this? Maybe it's about something, but it's about nothing. Maybe just for fun, have fun, or just just for some."
You never understand what is fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What's fun? When you make art about maybe you just make fish. What's the fish? What's the fish mean? Everything will be political. Maybe I don't know. I don't think about anything here for art. I don't know. I don't know how to thinking here.
But one thing I have been observed that want more you articulate with other artists, maybe you can get more strong and then face the police and camouflage like Al and Taja told now that you say that the performance starts 6, but we all know that starts 5. Or other kind of camouflage, like do a dinner, but in the reality, dinner is another performance where you can send your message in a camouflage way. I don't know.
Yes, sometimes even dinner. It will be people will come in. Even dinner. Yes,
People you say police. People you say police.
They're checking your group, your WeChat group. There's a lot of people is checking it, Yeah, with the group, you're talking about the group more than 100 or 200 group, 200 people's group. People, there is political, no, there is a policeman, online policeman is checking. They are checking. What's this? What people is saying? There are a lot. I'm scary.
But now she moved to New York. She's going to be in New York in the 7th
Yeah,
October.
7th. Yeah.
Yeah. She
Already.
will leave China. Bye bye. Come to freedom place. Okay.
I mean, guys, this illusion that think here or any place is freedom, you know. Any place is free. Each one of us deal with different, different situations. You know, here we are, the
For us, you know,
the brain of the empire. You know what I mean? Is
Yes, yes,
know?
my friend from New York also talk me about all this. New York also on freedom right now. When you see government bad, it also will be bad for you.
Yeah, for me, in my opinion, we just free when everybody's free, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, that's my thoughts. I mean, I don't think we are free. I don't think you are free. The thing is how
Yeah, so we don't think about
how
all
we
free, right?
articulate.
What do we think about it?
Okay, look, I think how we articulate, how we can interact, how we support each other. No, that's the point here. How can we
Yes,
help
you're
and
right.
support each other, you know? What do you
Yeah.
think? You have some ideas?
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
How many people there? What's that? What he is eating? I saw back your back. People is eating something.
Yeah, people is hungry now. Just wake up. Here. Look. Hi. Look. It's a public.
workshop, no?
You see?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi.
we have like they scream and then people coming. Yeah. But guys, we wanted that you talk more about how is this festival now that you still have and the police is on top of you, but how you manage that, how you want to, you know, like deal with that. Also because I think non grata is not, it means an invitation. How non grata also is forbidden. They stop non grata. How it looks like?
Okay. You can explain how you 你怎么样去做这样被限制，然后还要在这样怎么样去组织这样的一个活动？
Because because this museum is important. It's because museum man is a contemporary
owner.
artist
Okay,
and a
let me
film
see.
maker.
Okay.
Because private museum, he said he likes art. He likes contemporary art. So he found me.
He also is an artist as
Yeah,
well.
he found me because I'm a creator. I'm always create performance event. Then we decided to do this performance festival. Yeah, and then I just call in international artists together, and
also you fly.
Another big
Yeah.
group, and also have a Korea group. Yeah, and have a Indian artist, Sri Lanka artist, Mexico artist, and Australian artist, and they included around 10 Chinese artists. Yeah.
And yes, and we also have to pay attention of we don't touch of political issues, political, you know, political meaning in your work.
Yeah.
We
very carefully.
Yeah.
We just say for us in China make performance art. We cannot do something directly, but we can do more other way, and I think it's more art other way. We don't need direct to say something. We can in different way to show. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes. I want to say, last half years ago, I was communicator because of my exhibition in Shanghai. I communicated with creator she want to change my meaning, my work's meaning to write down for government. She must show government what the show will be. But my work is not that political, you know. So she will write down different of my meaning. I think, oh no, this is not good. He even show different, different style. It's not what I want. But she said that's more.
This
That's more.
Of course, you cannot change your work because to nobody. Of course, no.
But in Shanghai, a lot of people, a lot of creator, they are very, very carefully. They are very, very carefully. It's real.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is okay.
Can I ask you here, because we have some people here, can I ask if they have questions for you? And then we interact for the people, is okay? Okay, guys, you have questions for the artists in China?
Okay, I want to say.
Maxi, do you have any question, Maxi?
They say. Okay.
You know me.
GRATA is a artist, anarchist, and so on.
Any question?
Performance in China. And then they are together now with many Chinese artists. And then they say, they just told how hard it is to do performance. Because a lot of police, a lot of... Now they are inside the museum controlling them to don't go out, to do performance on the streets. And then I ask you, do you have questions for them? But they are live here now with us, look.
Yeah, I do. I think,
Is
it from the central government in China or from the local government?
Yes.
Every section, is there a specific place too where it happens?
Sorry, I don't understand your question. What?
The suppression of their performances.
Yes, high production.
Government and also local government and all across the country.
Do you understand
Yes,
the question?
all China.
Yes,
all
yes,
China.
very.
Village.
Yeah.
City, from big city to second city, from
Every
village. Every corner.
Yeah.
Even history. Even passed away.
Because the night, because everything controlled. Yeah.
And is it, do they have to give a reason why the performance is shut down or?
Right.
So if we're
That's a
traveling,
good
we must
question.
have
They give a reason what, guys, listen. They give a reason why the performance need to shoot down. They say why they shoot down your performance.
No reason. They never will tell you the reason. They never tell you any reason. Yes.
我们没有被shut down，现在 until now 还没有，只是他们开始注意了。
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't be shut down. Sorry, we didn't be shut down.
我们只是在被注意了，来了。
We just be paying attention by government, by local government.
Oh,
Yes.
watched.
What?
Yes.
Today come 3 guys. Yeah. From now on, we must very carefully. Yeah.
Secret Service.
Secret FBI, like a kind of FBI in China.
Does that happen outside of the performances too?
This happen outside of the performance or how it looks like?
Yeah, if tomorrow they come again, when we perform, they see something, they feel not comfortable, they will shut down. So we must very carefully. So this is, I being creator, I will check every artwork and tell me before what they're going to do. I will decide
We
what is
censor the
that,
festival
what is that.
ourselves.
Yeah, we carefully, yeah, very carefully.
How non-grata can be carefree?
Yeah, when the guy is around, that's very carefully. we can.
Non-grata is a tourist. Is not Chinese.
Non-grata have an exhibition.
They have press non-grata too.
I have an exhibition. Exhibition is there. It's no sound. You know, it's no scene. It's no sound. Only picture, books. The performance is already finished in the first day. So from now on, just what happened, going to happen, you know. Is we are lucky the guy not come the first day. If you come first day, then non-garden maybe have problem. But now it's only exhibition. Yeah, it's finished first day non-garden, and then second day also finish. The continue is the third day. Yeah, and the fourth day. That is okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Have
It's
some
okay.
questions.
Oh yes, I can show you another of my work. I was
Okay, then let's go. I asked.
applied.
Huh.
Listen, hello. I was listen to me. Hey,
不要叫人家强迫人家
Okay, show the work. Yeah.
不要这样强迫人家。
开玩笑，没事的。在哪里？Oh yes, and I was apply another work of continual work, and I got success of apply, but after then he let me show the detail. I send it. Then he said, "Oh no, that's no good. That's no good, because why?" I show some toilet with rolls, and I can show you the result. But it's totally not political work. I don't know why. But okay, that's okay. If they don't want to show, okay, I don't show.
Of course, when Ching Chai is talking about censoring his own festival, actually, during these days, nobody haven't made any compromises on the message of the performance. So there is totally, people have been free to express their work and freedom of speech and images. But just like sometimes you tell through the lines. So it's like you don't come on the stage that fuck China or let's kill the communism. It's like, of course you don't do that, but you use the language of art to visualize the problem. And of course the secret police is not so very good to read visual language. They have kind of experience a long time, but it's not so very, because visual language is always developing. So it's kind of people use new materials, new symbols. So they have to teach, but we learn and teach their forces to learn this visual language. But of course, artists are ahead of the society and they have always new tools in this fight for the society. So,
Amazing.
but of course, for now on, little bit, maybe I have to be careful with people themselves. Not their personal life can be under attack after some kind
We
of
are all
problems.
worried about the museum,
Yeah.
not worried about the
And
artist.
this organizer, Han Tao, he's famous artist here and he takes responsibility inviting all these artists. So it's like, it's also his kind of the personal agenda is under attack, or it can be. But they are very modest guys and they don't speak any English. They are pretty cool with all of that.
站着跟前来，站着跟前来，这说了半天，你跟着还
So let's take another. Yeah.
你韩涛说的话，你给翻译。
Okay, I can help
你说
you.
的话，
I try my
这是
best.
韩涛。
Yes.
欢迎来到山东。
Hello. Han Tao said, "Welcome to Shandong, China."
Thank you.
To you.
Thank
He's the
you.
owner of the museum.
在记录刚才。
你还有什么想说的？可以跟他讲。
下一个还是因为记录刚才他说了嘛，做完反正可能更快你问。
那个，我主要做电影和实验艺术。
His work is about of film and experimental art. Yeah.
欢迎你们到我的美术馆里来。
If possible, you can come to Penthouse Museum. You can show here. Welcome. And hey, Penthouse Museum is almost the most how to say
Important performance place.
yes, the most important performance collect.
Wow.
He collect a lot of performance art and books and in documentary.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta go, guys. Miss everybody. Miss you, Cha-Ching. Miss you, Al. Miss you, Ty.
You
Bye.
got come next time. Maxine.
Max is going. Where? So you want to say something, huh?
Yeah,
Come
you say
here.
something. You can
Say.
Oh
something.
yeah, I'm come from China, Shenzhen, very near Hong Kong. Okay, my work. Yeah. I have work.
He want to show his work.
等一下啊。
He is from the south of China near Hong Kong, Shenzhen, you know?
Okay.
The city Shenzhen.
Maybe my work. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. So it's very thick.
No, but no. What?
Okay.
Ah, that is different.
His color is different.
也可以。OK. Yeah, OK.
Nobody here.
Yes.
So, but I have a question for you also. Like, how is to you to be performance artist in China? Can you tell them?
Again, sorry.
Okay.
Can you tell them how you feel to be performance artist in China?
你为什么？
What
你是
kind of-
你是怎么觉得在中国成为一个行为艺术家？你是怎么想的？你讲讲你的感受吧。
你作为行为艺术家在中国，你有什么感觉？因为中国做的比较难。
It's government. Yes.
你
Very
你
close.
不，你讲讲你自己的感受，你自己的感受，对。
就是想要做这个事情啊，想要做作品啊，用行为的方式。
用行为。
哦。看你做很难啊，但是还是要做呀。对。
It's difficult, but still need to express. The performance is a language to him.
Because I like
you just a performance or what else?
no photograph and the radio and the installation. Yeah, mix.
Yes, mixed, not just a performance.
And correct.
He not just make performance. Me too.
Yeah.
I also.
Correcto performance at a festival.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to say something.
Yes, please,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm from India, Anand Jaiswal, namaste. I came first time in China and I found very healthy, very creative, very amazing atmosphere here, and artists who are participating in this festival. It's amazing. They shown their work. There are, I told, Kai King has told me there are some problem created by local police, but I think the artist, it creates his own way to express their feeling. If the political issues, the police wants to stops kinds of performance, but artist has the power to create the same thing with a different way, with another way, another methodology of expression. So it's not a big deal to deal with this type of issue, I think. And there are problems in our country, in India also. There are many hindrances, many taboos. We cannot show something, types of things in public, but artist had his own way to create to express their feelings. So again, I would like to thanks everyone, and just I want to show all of your works also, and maybe next day or non-GRATA will do this type of meeting, Zoom meeting on another day. And I would like to invite all of you to India also. And if we have, we will meet and get together and do performance in India also. Thank you. Namaste.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your amazing art, guys. Oh,
Thank you.
And we take here one more. Kim Gwang-chol from Gwangju, Korea, gonna have his idea about Chinese performance art and performance reality here in China.
Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
yeah, sitting out.
Chinese and very many and stress and headache. And from history and from and the land. So I think it's this time I'm in China in maybe 15 years ago I visited one time. Now it's more in the very changing. I think it's like a good city. Just my opinion.
I have a question to you.
Mhm.
Yes, if China go down, will you come again? 3 years later, like right now he's here. 3 years later, like here too. Will you come again?
Many stress,
Yeah.
rising up.
Yeah, if I created, I invited him. Of course, he come down here.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what happened.
And
Yeah.
sometimes,
Really? You?
Of course.
just sometimes and the system, the art, these are moving.
Yeah,
Sometimes the very good times.
yeah, and sometimes, and
Sometimes and
Yeah.
we write the message is very important.
Oh, bad. You mean the bad time is good time?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
yes, like when in society are hard times, then performance art is more important than usually. And that because when all totalitarian systems fall and there is big changes in society, then performance art comes more important. And also because the political and social message have to be delivered directly and not through the painting or sculpture. It takes too long time. So artists feel they have to take part personally and they go to the streets and change the society.
I can see clearly that, right now, the art like this large, this huge, they have this huge of art. And right now, they express it just here. You can do this. Even narrow and narrow and narrow, like this, you just can do this. Just here. You can do art like this, here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because you have to look the performance through the peephole, then it makes it also very important for the people. Because you can even say that this totalitarian system and the secret police, they make performance very important in the society and also art generally. Because if it's forbidden, then everybody are very interested about it. So they see these artists as shamans and these people who make the change. So they are really put on the pedestal on the social level. And it's not really that way in the Western world when everything is allowed. So the importance of it is kind of disappearing. So we continue the art making here. We deliver our message. It's getting late here. It's already kind of midnight and artists have to prepare for tomorrow's performances. So I'm going to end up the workshop here.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the.
And even it was kind of hectic and stuff, but I think it was very important, almost impossible to make video bridge for Anarchist Festival New York here to China, Chinan, Hantown Museum, and Brazil.
Thank you for resist. Thank you for resist. Thank you for your art. Thank you for your strong things. Love you guys. Love you.
And we love you.
From New York. Love from we out here for you. Love you together. Okay.
See you soon, huh?
See you.
That's like,
Take
I
care.
make one picture here.
Picture. Let's take picture. Yeah.
Everybody, come on.
Good.
Everybody say goodbye.
Bye bye.
Yay! Yay!
Very good. Goblin Anarchist.
Anarchist. Bye. So good.
All right.
Good, Give. Let's go back to the order and start with films because we still have time. 50 minutes, no? Cool.
Y'all need me or can I just chill?
No, my love, chill.
Corregendo a nossa aldeia, meus caboclo índio reina.
Every so often, the foundations of power shift. Cracks appear. Ground gives way, and all of a sudden, walls come tumbling down. Most of the time, these dislocations are small, localized tremors, a settling of scores, or revenge against a petty tyrant. But sometimes, they're earthquakes. Massive social ruptures that topple established hierarchies and draw millions into the streets to shake off their chains and lay waste to the institutions of order. For days, weeks, or months on end, the alienating thrall of authority and the banality of everyday life are replaced by visions of intoxicating possibility and unity of purpose. These glorious moments of insurrection remind us what it means to be alive, to be truly free. And then they end. The state figures out a way to catch its footing, steady itself, and adapt to the new reality. It recuperates those it can and represses those it can't. For those who have lived through such moments of exhilaration, a return to the status quo can be too much to bear. Some sink into despair and disillusionment. Others into compromise and pragmatism. But there are also those among us who refuse to accept the victory of defeat. Who get up, dust ourselves off, and begin preparing for the next uprising. The big one. The one that will destroy the state, smash the rule of capital, and overthrow this miserable system once and for all. Today, humanity is threatened by a myriad of overlapping and existential crises. If we're to have any hope of coming through them together, cooperation must replace competition as the watchword of progress. But to unleash our collective potential, we must first break free of the prison of history, to answer the call of today, and to rise to the challenges of tomorrow, demands nothing short of a global revolution.
Hello, I'm Joe from the band Gojira. We are here in Rio, in Brazil, to perform at Rock in Rio today with my band. We're really excited to be part of this festival, but we also here to stand in solidarity with all indigenous people of Brazil, and actually by extension all around the world, because these cultures and these communities are so precious for our survival on this planet. They are the people that know how to live in harmony with their environment, with nature, and we have so much to learn from them. So we are here also in Rio to remind everybody about this reality, and the destruction of the Amazon forest is a disaster that we must stand against altogether.
Meus caboclo índio, que é que anda fazendo aqui? Eu andei por terra alheia, corregendo a nossa aldeia. Meus caboclo índio, reina.
Yeah, it's you.
That's it. Now I'm in the show.
Just a sec.
Oh, okay.
Agora, just a second. You live, you.
Hi, everyone. Anarchist Bookfair.
Peraí só um minuto. Deixa eu ligar pro cara.
No, I'm live.
Hello, I'm here. We are live.
Hey, wait. Is this my comrades? Is this trolls?
Maybe something from the light, but you are live.
You share this with your friends.
I did,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
But I don't know who is it.
This is Guilherme from Brazil. That is manage that.
Oh, okay.
I'm the tech guy.
Okay,
guy,
the tech guy.
Yeah.
We do like the tech guy.
No, because Gui, tem mais gente que tá entrando they come from
Denmark.
Dinamarca.
Yeah,
Tem gente entrando da Dinamarca. Os caras entraram também?
No.
I'm asking to come now.
Yeah.
Ok, ele tá chamando agora os caras para ver se os caras entram agora.
Black, eu vou colocar a vinheta de 1 minuto aqui, tá?
Coloca, beleza.
I think he's gonna join at 12.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, just a little early.
Okay.
We are back. Are you ready?
Ready, and then you start to talk whatever you want.
You want to give me just like 1 or 2 minutes to see if they join right
Okay.
on time? Yeah.
I will put a movie, Black.
Yeah, a linguagem dos pássaros, né?
Yeah.
Beleza.
Okay.
See you.
Thank you. I think it's
Naima pa yobokan Min yobo chani matakin Chani mata jobokan Yoshin hoto yobokan Yoshin hoto yobokan Nairo no atakin Nairo no atakin Meu avô era uma das pessoas muito antigas e ele dava sempre o exemplo dos pássaros. O chefe dos pássaros chama-se o sabiá. É o primeiro pássaro que canta quando o dia vem amanhecendo. E quando ele canta, ele não está cantando, ele está chamando os outros pássaros para se reunir. E é como eles estão fazendo aqui. A gente pensa que eles estão só junto aqui, mas eles estão conversando. Se vocês ouvirem, vocês vão ouvir. Então, eles se planejam, aí depois cada um vai para o seu lugar, viaja o dia todinho. E no final do dia, eles voltam de novo para o local de onde eles começaram. E cada um está contando o que ele viu, o que ele fez, aonde ele andou. E é quando eu digo assim, que nós falamos com os animais, e as pessoas dizem, mas o animal não fala. Então, se vocês ouvirem, vocês vão ouvir que eles estão conversando entre si aqui agora. Então, são esses tipos de ensinamento que os nossos anciões antigos sempre falavam ao nosso povo, para a juventude. Então, acho que por felicidade, não sorte, mas pela felicidade de nós estamos caminhando, encontramos uma assembleia de pássaros. Então, primeira atividade nossa do dia. E essa lição serve para nós sempre. Quando a gente vai começar o nosso dia, é muito bom a gente fazer uma reflexão aonde a gente quer caminhar e o que a gente quer alcançar durante esse dia. E sempre no final da tarde também se reunir ou com você mesmo, refletir o que você conseguiu alcançar do seu planejamento, por que você não alcançou aquilo que não deu. Então é muito importante a gente todos os dias se encontrar com a gente e fazer essa reflexão. Um primeiro compartilhamento de sabedoria, como os nossos anciãos ensinam para nós, como liderar o nosso povo. Naimana Shumushwan, Naimana Shumushwan, Yoshin hoto chikawan, Yoshin hoto chikawan, Doa tu mushawu, Doa tu mushawu,
We are back.
Hi. All right. So welcome everyone to Save Tusinpul. We're talking gentrification, noise, and international solidarity with the Activist House in Aalborg. I'm Stefan Gehrman. I have trolls from Tusinpul Bear with me, my Danish, I've only studied a little, so Troll may have to correct me a bit here and there.
It's all good.
Yeah. But we're here at the New York City Anarchist Book Fair. Those who are here at Pitt, feel free to sit down, take a sheet, join us for a bit on this talk. And we're going to try to work towards saving Tusenfrüh. So I'll start with a bit of introduction about myself. I'm a student at the New School here in New York City. I studied abroad, like an international semester in Tusenfrüh, or in Denmark, in Aalborg, Denmark. I volunteered with FU, and it was, of course, an amazing time, but also, being an international student, you don't have a lot of connections. And FU is like one of those places that they welcome you and they just help you out in ways that you don't realize you need, like building new friendships, having a kitchen to cook for others, but also enjoy meals with other people, tools for working on my bike, and of course, plenty of really great concerts, and like some of the best concerts you can see in Denmark are there. Aalborg is, I don't know how you would want to describe it, Trolls, but it's like the 5th largest city in Denmark, right?
Fourth biggest.
Fourth biggest.
Yeah.
And it's very working class historically. A lot of famous industries like cement and the liquor distilling were there, and it had a huge industrial port too. And now it's very different. There's less industry, and there's a big research university with a ton of different programs and a lot of people working on like issues around the world. But it's like located in the suburbs, and it's just it's a very different city than I think it was probably 40 years ago.
For sure.
So now I want to maybe let you tell a bit of the story of FU, and how the activist house got started in Aalborg, in this historic city, and how it got established.
Yeah, cool. And then hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks again for being here. It's great.
It's it's super cool seeing you on the other side of the world.
Yes,
that's nice. Is the sound and everything okay here?
Yeah. I think everyone can hear you. This is my good friend Jim here. What's up?
Hi, Jim. Cool. And I'll try. Like the origin story of Tusenfrüh is in the late 70s. There was this culture house called Huset that you probably remember as well. It's still there. It's actually, they're friends of ours, but some people in the late 70s, early 80s were like, they wanted a place that was run by the people autonomously and with no like interference from the municipality and grown-ups. So they decided they wanted their own association and their own house where they can like establish themselves. And they searched for a house for a few years, and then in '84 they found the house that we're still in right now, and they like built this structure that was unlike anything in Aalborg at that time, and I would say almost unlike any other place I've seen in the world. We used to have a few of these houses around Denmark, but they've all been torn down and made into parking lots. You probably remember Ungdomshuset in Copenhagen. Some of you have probably heard that story. It was kind of similar, but not really the same as ours. Tusenfrüh is run in a consensus democracy, which means that we need to find consensus at these Monday meetings that are we do not have leaders, but if you would say we would have a leader, that would be our Monday meetings that we have every Monday, where we decide what's going to happen in our house and how to run the economy and how to, if we need to make changes in the house, or if we have a stance against or for anything, like all these official statements and all this how to represent the house. Both internally but also externally. We got 2 people hired, where I'm one of them, but the 2 managers, the 2 hired people, are actually the ones lowest in our hierarchy, if you can say that. The highest authority is the Monday meeting.
Yeah.
And the Monday meeting is basically everyone that wants to be a part of our house.
Yeah, this is my greatest memory, actually, of Tusenfu, is that I, being an international, not being a citizen of Denmark, in many ways felt left out of, the society. And when I went to the first Monday meeting, I was like genuinely shocked when I was given a vote, but that's just how it's run, is that everybody, regardless of, there's no concept of citizenship or belonging. It's like when you're there, you're a part of the process.
Yeah, but we do not actually vote. We strive to gain consensus, which means that sometimes these meetings can take like forever if we're not agreeing on certain topics, right? So we strive to not vote. We do not vote. We have a few exceptions for this. One is when, for example, when we need to hire a new manager, we do that by vote. But everything on the Monday meetings, we do not vote on stuff. We talk and discuss until we find that consensus.
Yeah,
which can make these meetings out forever sometimes. But I think that's and it's the foundation of Tusenful. Like 40 years ago, when some people started this association. The rules were the same, the guideline were the same. Like, we strive for consensus, and it's been that way for 40 years. And I think that's a reason why we still exist if we compare us to some of the other places that were kind of similar to us. And I also think that's the reason why we actually managed to find these young bands that no one ever heard of, that 10 years after were like the biggest bands in the world or in Denmark. So I think there's a lot of this consensus and this democracy of working together as a whole. I think that's the reason why Tusenful is still here, I would say.
Yeah, I've given everybody these handouts, and I here is on the top left is the Tusenful's like values. Some of what's written on the website. So Tusenful has room for everybody who makes room for everybody. Fu values inclusivity, equality, and mutual respect for every individual. We value and respect all gender and non-genders. We value and respect all ethnicities and nationalities. We value and respect all individuals regardless of their physical and mental abilities. And again, like, this is something it's a unique place in Aalborg, right? I mean, Aalborg is a great city and full of a lot of people who hold these values, which is the reason that FU exists. But it is also difficult to concentrate that into an institution or a place where it can all exist together because of things like the state, jumping in and deciding how it's going to work for people.
Yeah, but I think that's also one of the advantages that our house got compared to some of the other houses around Denmark or Europe and maybe the world, is that for some reason back in the 80s, these punks and hippies that started the association, they actually bought the whole house. We have 700 square meters of the venue inside is probably the most famous part, but we also have like rehearsal room and art studio, exhibition room, t-shirt workshop, all these cinema, all these different things inside the house. But they actually bought the whole house back in the 80s. which means we actually own our house. We own our own house. It's kind of weird in a capitalist society to do that and have this punk house. But that's how they did it, and I think that's actually one of the reasons why we've never been torn down or made into parking lots. It's because we own our house and we decide everything. We're autonomously owned and we own ourselves, which means no one can touch us basically, except for this fucked up situation we're in right now. That's probably the only way someone could actually be a threat to us from the outside.
Yes. So before we get to that, I want to just tell folks who have like handouts that the bottom left corner is where you see the like venue, the space where the bands play. I used the picture from like Google that someone from the house posted, but I mean that's when I saw it, that's what it looked like. But now we're going to get into the fucked up situation, which is it's very simply described as a noise complaint, but it's actually a much more complicated situation.
Yeah. The picture on the left side of your pamphlet is in the bottom of the room where you can see the windows. There's like this. That's actually our stage. Mm-hmm. All the chairs and the foosball table and all that shit is not normal there when we have shows. Then we have just an empty room basically.
Yeah.
This is from when we were not allowed to have shows anymore. We put in chairs and stuff, so we turned it into a cafe instead.
Yeah.
But in short, this whole thing is it's the next to us is an apartment, a block of apartments with 6 apartments in it, and all these 6 apartments are owned by this company, and we didn't really get the reason why, but for some reason they complained to the municipality about noise from our place, and it's 2 years ago or something like that, maybe more. My brain is melted. It's really long time that they actually made this complaint, and then we started meeting up with them and the municipality and trying to do some like small adjustments within Tusindfryd to lower the decibel levels, because the decibel levels were like more than 20 decibels too high, even though we didn't break the law inside, because we played as loud as you're allowed to in regarding to Danish law.
In your space.
Yeah, in our venue, in our space, yeah. But then because that apartment block was built into our place, actually years after we were a venue, and if you look at the old drawings, it's built incorrectly. It's built into our building. There should have been like a small gap between the buildings, but it's built directly into our building, which means we cannot do anything. It's not like we cannot isolate or anything. And if you look at the picture, we have a really tiny room, right? So it's impossible for us to do anything. And we tried during these meetings and through a year or something like that to find some kind of solution, or see if we can maybe buy them out or do anything that could like to make this complaint go away. But then at some point, the guy owning the building, the company owning the building next door, he just said, "I don't want to do anything on my side, and I do not want to pay anything for this." And then we were all looking at each other. Is that actually a thing? He's allowed to say that? And then because it's us making noise, which it obviously is, then everything fell on our part. And as he withdrew from these taking any responsibility into this, it landed on us, and we did some few adjustments and stuff, but it was simply not enough to lower the decibel levels enough in the apartment next door. So we we decided that the only thing we could actually do, because on the other side of our building is another apartment block, so we could not really change anything or do anything inside our place. So we decided to tear everything down, basically.
Yeah.
Which right now we have an empty room without any floor, ceiling, or any walls. There's nothing. Everything is torn down.
Yeah, we have in the little pamphlets, we have the picture of everything torn and your reaction. It is, extremely fucked.
It's actually even more torn down than what you see on that picture now.
Yeah. And so this is because they did not build their building to the building code. Now Fu has to change their entire space, and the process is very expensive, right?
Yes.
I know of a situation here in New York. Hey, I'm Jim. I'm from PIT. I'm a musician. I've been a musician in New York for almost 2 decades, and I know an identical situation here, and where the new condo next door violated the space easement and destroyed an entire bank of practice spaces that had been there for 25 years.
Oh, shit.
And that was even less of a pointed capitalist versus radical situation. Because this was just, oh, well, we messed up. We have all the money and the lawyers. You can't do anything. Right? But there was no really pointed reason for them to do this except for either accidental mistake where they knew they would win and get, make the neighborhood more gentrified.
Yeah.
It's not like the thing it just was like maybe to make the neighborhood more friendly for shitbag yuppies. But it's not like they were attacking a radical thing. It just happened to be that it was a noisy thing. So I can imagine that what you guys face is even more pointed and awful.
Yeah, it is. We hired this. I don't know if the right word is acousticer.
Right.
Yeah,
I think the technical term is nerd.
Nerd. That might be true. Come on. But he's really talented. But he saved other venues and culture houses in Denmark before us. So
right.
This is happening like in all major cities and even in smaller cities. And I made this point to the municipality back when this whole thing started that in theory I could move out to the countryside where there's no people and I could build a house and then or even better I could build a venue in the middle of nowhere, like let's say 10 kilometers to the next person living, right? So no one would complain. And then if some person hated me, he could build a house next to mine and he could complain to the municipality about noise.
Right.
And he would win.
The state uses all sorts of wedges against radical action, radical spaces, including zoning, health departments, other municipal departments that would make things financially impossible.
Yeah.
And that's how, never mind the gatekeeping that comes with even maintaining a space in terms of all the licensure and everything else you have to deal with. And that's if you don't own your space, So like, I'm sure they have to go the extra mile to make it difficult for you guys.
Yeah, but like it's actually kind of weird because the commune, the municipality that we live in Aalborg, they're really supportive.
Huh. Right.
And we have tons of meetings with them, and they're super fans of us, and they know our history, and like they really cherish that we live or are in this city, because we don't do not, any other city in Denmark do not have anything like Tusindfod. So, and they know that we're famous all over Europe,
right?
And they're proud to have this kind of space in their smaller city, right?
Right.
So they want to keep us, but the thing is, they cannot do anything because they are a municipality, and they're just going due to this noise complaint, they're just following the law, right?
Right.
And the law is fucked up. That's for sure. But they're just following it, and it's really, really hard for us to actually use the municipality, even though they support us. So this is mainly one company, one person putting this on us because they got the lawyers. They know how this shit runs, and they know how law is, basically.
So it's a pure capitalist incursion or gentrification incursion, not from the state.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm not really 100% sure about the complete gentrification can come in many shapes, I think, and this is a gentrification for one person or one company. This is not something that the municipality or the state are actually doing, but it's more like a company maintaining this gentrification. So I don't know, but it could be maybe to raise the rent in their apartment next door.
Right.
I'm not sure. They never told us.
You would say that the law, even though the municipality is in full support, that the law is obviously geared towards supporting this capitalist incursion into your autonomous space, because you can't do anything.
For sure, the law is for or against something like us.
Right. So,
but I think that that's just like that's how most of society runs. Like that, it's always like the free market that comes before anything else.
Yeah.
No matter if it could also be a sports organization or whatever, that they will also come after the free market.
Yeah. Well, so there's a contradiction, because the municipality says in their plans that they want historic preservation, and they'll list like places that they want to be preserved, and Fu is not on there. And whether, how exactly to get on that list is not entirely clear. Like if the planners put all of these different like buildings on there, but they also in their plan talk about like urban transformation, this idea that parts of the city need to change, and they even have specific references to noise in their plan, mostly related to like the industrial area. I think in the city right across from Aalborg called North Sundby, which is a little bit more working class industrial still.
Yeah.
But like this question of noise, like you said, comes up in Brooklyn as well. I mean, famous author Xochitl Gonzalez wrote about how gentrification now is a lot about, creating silence, trying to shame people for being noisy.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, a very interesting contradiction, because some of the noisiest things that I remember from Aalborg are like, and there's a nearby NATO base where jets will like fly and break the sound barrier, right?
Yeah.
So there is this whole question of what gets prioritized, right?
What noise gets erased?
What noise gets erased? The local, punk.
Yeah. It's super weird, because the people that are living in the neighbor building to us, they love us, and whenever we're inside their apartments to make sound tests or measurements to see how low we are in the decibel levels, they're super cool. Oh, I'm going out to my mom the whole day. Here's beer, here's coffee. Well, chill. Please fix this. We love you, right? So it's kind of weird, because they're living there because they want to live inside the city, as everyone else that's living inside the city. Like, you've been to Aalborg, right? It's 100 meters from the biggest party street in all of Denmark, right? Or place.
Yep.
It's 200 meters, maybe something really, really close. That's two roads apart, 2 streets apart, right? And we have a big party street. And the people living in the street where we're located, they're living there because they are close to this. They couldn't get any closer to the city center, and they are like 100 meters from the biggest party street in Denmark. That's why they're living there. If they rather want like to pet their goats or something, they would move to the countryside, right? So they're living there because they want to have the advantages of living there, and then it's kind of contradictory that they want, like, not the people living there, but the ones that are owning these apartments. They want all the benefits of being close to the city center or inside the city center, but they do not want it when it comes to their part, right? So they want all the party, all the noise, all the theaters, all the venues, all that's normally inside a city center, right? But they do not want it when it's next to their building. It's so fucked up. Like, that's the reason why they live there, right?
Well, we have shows here in our space at Pitt, all sorts of stuff. But one of the elements is shows, and we make sure that they're done by 9 or 9:30 p.m. usually. And no one who's of this neighborhood, it's largely a Dominican and Puerto Rican working class neighborhood, complains. And we do a lot of involvement with the block and the block association. Everyone's cool with what we do, except for the new yuppies who moved next door.
Okay.
who in the last year and who threatened us with shutting us down at all costs and stuff.
Okay.
Without establishing communication or answering my emails. But then, to your point, last week, after we had a mind-expanding free jazz show here that ended at 9, I came out into the street to find that they had thrown a huge, noisy rooftop party that had been shut down by 9 p.m. It was so loud. And so, it's to your point, like they threatened us, like they existentially threatened PIT because they were annoyed by the sort of noise that we made, and then basically put a sound system on their roof and blasted the neighborhood until the neighbors came out into the street.
That's fucked up.
I just think it's the cult of individualism pervasive to capitalists. Like, it's cool if it's mine, but yours can get fucked.
Yeah. But it's basically just thinking about yourself instead of thinking about communities and like the greater good, right?
Yeah.
Because we need venues, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise we need music. Otherwise we'll die, right?
Yeah.
And we need parties, of course, as well. Otherwise we'll also die, right? But but I would say it's sometimes you need to take some shit if you're also gonna do shit, right?
Yeah. Or just listen to people.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's talk.
Actually, when this whole shit hit the fan and it became like everyone knew about the situation, the people living in the neighbor apartment block and the one next to that, they actually together, all of them, like collectively wrote what's it called? Like sorry, my broken English here. What's it called? Like, to a newspaper, you can send in like your own what's it called? Article. Læserbrev.
Letter to the editor.
Letter to the editor, I guess.
Yeah. And in big capital letter, it was called Bevar Tusindfold, Save Tusindfold, and they talked about how cool we are as neighbors and how great we are at cleaning the street and everything, like as a community thing, right? We do that for ourselves, but we also do it for the greater good, right? For the community, for the street. And they wrote this big letter to the local newspaper about that. So it's so weird that people living there, they love us, but we're still facing this.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
It's so weird.
I want to highlight some of the reasons to save Tusindfold. I mean, you can't just find another space, right? Like, it's in the city center. It's a rare building. Also, it's historic. Tell me some of the bands that have come through and played at Fu. The famous ones, that is.
How long you got?
You got still time, so just tell me a couple. Just pick two.
Yeah. I would say that it's the whole spirit and like the DNA of our booking group, and it's been like that for 40 years. It's that we strive to find the new shit and like the odd things and stuff like that. And sometimes the odd things turn mainstream, and that's why like like everyone are activists, everyone volunteers to be a part of this, and they do book bans because they cannot help themselves, right? It's not like they are hired to do that. And that's why they sometimes, the booking group finds bands that over the years turns into these humongous bands. I would say the Green Day is the one the most people like mention, because I don't know, it's probably the biggest rock band in the world right now. And it's the most international one. But if you look through, we have this poster we made a few years ago, like a bragging poster to the municipality to see all these cool bands that played here. It's really extreme, and most of these bands are like the biggest bands in Denmark, and they always want to come back. And some bands often write to their booker before going on a European tour. We want Tusindfjord as one of the places we play, to have a tour poster look cool. A few years ago, we had the Dwarves, punk band from the US, that they wrote to their bookers saying, we want to play Tusindfjord because we want that name on our poster, along with all the other bands, all the other venues. So it's so many bands that over the years have turned into some of the biggest we have in Denmark, but also some international acts, as Green Day played there. I think when Green Day played, there were 30 people at the show. If they played all by now, it would probably be 30,000 or something. And the singer from Green Day, he actually said a few times over the years that the greatest venue he ever played in the world was Tusindfjord in Aalborg. So it says a lot about the capacity, and we're allowed to let in 100 people at our shows. So it's a really, really small place, but still we have a word out in the world that it's one of the coolest places you can play in Europe. But I could mention a lot of bands if you want to, but that's probably pretty boring, I think.
Let's talk the petition. Is this second largest petition to save Tusindfjord in Denmark in 2023 is the second largest petition. So this was like a first attempt to garner support and raise the power of the people to fight against the company. What are some other things that you all have done in order to try to save Tusindfjord? I kind of want to mention the art that goes up for sale with donations.
We did a million things, and some of it is still going on. We made this fundraising page where people can buy some shit, and we made some items that are unique for this Save Tusindfjord campaign, because we need to find 2 million Danish kroners. That's 300,000 US dollars. So it's a shitload of money. We're almost halfway there, but we still need more to save our place. But we did a lot of art auctions. We did a lot of bands send in their test press. We did a lot of test press auctions. We tore out some of the buildings from the building. We tore out some stones and some old posters and stuff that we kept and put up for auction as well, like our Berlin Wall kind of thing. So you can buy the old Tusindfjord, and we made some puzzles. We made a new beer, Save Tusindfjord beer, and we have this local brewery. They're really cool and supportive of us. And if you put a shitload of money into this, then you can have your own beer at their brewery, where the brewery is paying everything. So all the money that we put into this would go to us. This weekend there were 2 benefit shows, one in Norway and one in another place in Denmark, and we have a huge benefit show in 2 months' time in our own city at the biggest venue in Aalborg that borrowed their room to us, and then we wrote out to some of the bands that played here before, and some of the biggest names in Danish music are coming for free to play for us. I also talked with the Green Day's chat bot, but I was unable to make it understand that they should come here and play. But yeah, worth a go.
Worth a go, right? Yeah.
I also talked with the Rancid's bot, but it was kind of like the same. Yeah, I don't know. These big bands, they love us, but I don't think they will fly over the Atlantic to play a free show for us. But
yeah,
it was worth a go.
Yeah. Well, but this is all very like exemplary of what it takes to save these kinds of places.
Yeah.
In Alan W. Moore's like occupation culture book, which I shared with you, but I've been kind of working on reading it. But he talks about squatters in Paris using their art to like block the doors of the squat so that the police can't get in. And it's, I think, a very great example of how like the art and the creations of an activist house like Tusenful, they also defend the house, and they can be utilized to like defend the culture. And I included a quote on the handout that I gave to people from that book about taking on this kind of challenge and actually designing your space and bringing it up to the standards of the state. Like what they want in this case is more silence, but you'll still be able to play shows after these expensive renovations, which is what you all want.
Yeah, we're allowed to do that, but the thing is, if we do not get enough, like if we do not get the 2 million Danish kroner, then we have to find the money, because tomorrow morning we're starting the rebuilding, because we are like DIY DIT place, and we do everything together, but this task is too big, and we want someone that's a company that if it falls apart and we're not able to actually make to lower the decibels, then we need someone to point the fingers and say, you didn't do your work. Rather, if it was us, that would suck. But tomorrow they're actually starting rebuilding, and they put in like 2-3 months for the rebuilding, and then we're actually able to reopen. We probably need to put up some posters and paint some graffiti and shit like that, but otherwise than that, we're actually able to open again. But the thing is, if we do not find the 2 million Danish kroner, then we have to find the money somewhere else. And unless the singer from Green Day or something throws 500,000 Danish kroner at us or something like that, then we probably need to, I don't know, take a bank loan. I don't know. I know it sucks to go that way, but I think, like, without Tusenful, there would be no Aalborg. Like, it's simply not a possibility to close down our association. That's simply not an option.
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons that we're doing this at the New York City Anarchist Book Fair, is partly to build the connection between Aalborg and New York City, and to have that connection going forward for both sides and around the world, because we just before this had an art group from China who was calling in. So these connections are growing. Yeah. But also, there's folks can make a donation. I did it not too long ago, very easily. We have the PayPal. The PayPal is 1000 FRYD at 1000 FRYD.DK.
Yeah.
And remind me, any amount of money donated will get their name on a plaque or something in the entrance of the new show space.
Yeah. It's like every and also like if it's a band or if it's an association or organization, whatever it is, will get their name on this poster that will be there forever. So even though you're living on the other side of the world.
And so like, I know everybody right now is getting these messages from like both of the political parties in the US to donate $5 to one of them. And make some poor person in Pennsylvania watch an ad for the 1,000th time in their week. But $5 will be a huge donation to help Tusufu. And yeah. And here it comes up on the screen.
Backwards. No.
Oh no,
No,
right, the right way.
Yeah.
I can hold this actually.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
this is
that's our web page after the ad.
Yes.
And you can read a bit more about the whole situation in there and follow along with all these different auctions and stuff we got going on.
Yeah. But now I want to open it to questions from the audience here and see if anybody has anything they'd like to ask or
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
I've played at Club Loppin.
Yeah.
Was there a relationship between the founding? Like, you guys must work together in some capacity, right? In Christiania.
Yeah. Loppin, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the connection there because they've been they're a squat that does shows in an autonomous part of Copenhagen.
Yeah, it's in Freetown, Christiania.
Yeah, in Freetown, yeah. So I wanted to ask, and they've been around since what, early 1970s, right?
Yeah, they're a bit older than us. I think they turned 50 something.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure about when they actually started, to be honest.
Right. I think it was the early 70s, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's really old. Our band, we played there. We're playing there in 2 months again. It's like a sister place to our place.
I figured. Yeah. Right.
And got a lot of this like same values and all that stuff. So yeah, we are like in dialogue with them a lot of a lot. And they were actually talks about a benefit show there for our place because a lot of the Copenhagen bands that want to support us would rather play in Copenhagen than travel all the way to Aalborg for playing.
That's fun all the way to Aalborg. Wow, that's
yeah. I think it's 5 hours. That's a lot in Denmark.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
So it's as far away as we can be from each other.
Right. Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot of brotherhood or sisterhood, whatever you call that, between the two places for sure.
Right. I mean, because with all the spaces just in a city like New York, the spaces with affinity couldn't exist without each other. Just without each other's example and support and
yeah, for sure. But that's also like it's in Copenhagen, most bands want to play in Copenhagen. They do not want to play in Aalborg because they don't know anything about Aalborg. But due to Tusind, a lot of bands want to play in Aalborg rather than Copenhagen or in Aarhus or some of the other bigger places because we got this place, and like we're all connected to each other.
Yeah.
Like, if want a band to come play in Denmark, most of the times they play Copenhagen and maybe Aalborg because we're a bit disconnected from Germany and France and all that. So if we want a band to come up here, we often need to find more than one show for them.
Yeah.
So it's like this. It's everything is connected. And in the 90s, back when, for example, we had Green Day, they played here due to the fact that their old record label,
Lookout.
Yes, exactly. That scene in that was in
Oakland,
Brooklyn, at that time, that was just before like the punk broke for real. A lot of these bands they just sent their tape to Tusind because they knew that was the place you want to play if it was outside Copenhagen. So back in the early 90s to mid 90s, late 90s, we had all these bands of relevance from that scene. Whenever they played Europe, they most of the time played Tusind.
Right.
And that's also why a band like Green Day and Rancid and all that they played here. But I think we are like a pack of like venues in Europe that are similar. But
I mean, that's how it works. There's communities of DIY. I'm not going to say network because that's kind of a cynical word. The communities of DIY places. across any given landscape, be it a country or, that bands can go between. I mean, that's the scene I'm from, is the 90s punk scene.
Yeah.
And so I grew up touring and playing and I'm from a town that was a smallish city that had a very vibrant and radical punk scene. And it was spiritually, politically, and personally formative on all of us. So just to underscore the importance of having really vital DIY autonomous shows in places that aren't the main city centers of places, in smaller places where people can have contact with new ideas and new ways of doing things. It's super important. I mean, it forms who I am 100%.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I would say it's way more important that Aalborg got Tusindfold that, for example, Copenhagen had Tusindfold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a way bigger city, and they have a lot of kind of similar places. They have like aspiring ideas and are first movers and a lot of things. And but in Aalborg, let's say Tusindfold were not there, it would just be like, it would suck basically.
Yeah, I'm from Nowheresville, North Carolina, and if there was I'm from Greensboro, basically, or a smaller city outside of that. But if there weren't the punk shows and the houses and the autonomous venues there would be nothing there but capitalism and southern redneck ass politics and other forms of repression.
Yeah. We have that in Aalborg, sadly, as well.
Right.
But you can live inside it due to the fact that we have got a place like Tusindfold.
Exactly.
And I think it's probably the reason why the municipality and a lot of the politicians, surprisingly enough, are for Tusindfold, is that a lot of the stuff that's happening at Tusindfold eventually actually is able to maintain a lot of the cultural infrastructure in Aalborg. Like all the sound engineers we have in all the different venues in Aalborg, they are trained at Tusindfold for free. That sounds like a cool job. Let me do that. They're all they're activists as well as everyone else, but they learn their craft at Tusindfold. And a lot of the people learning to cook vegan learned that at our place, and then maybe they open up a restaurant in town. And a lot of the managers from the bigger venues in town, they have all been managers at Tusindfold. So it's like this stepping stone also. So where a lot of the things you learn at Tusindfold, you take out into the world. And I really like that idea, because then you get trained to become a sound engineer, and you move on to some other place or other city. But it's not only the craft that you learn at Tusindfold to become, for example, a sound engineer, but it's also a way of thinking and a mindset that you take onwards. And then maybe that will lean into places that are a bit more, or maybe a bit less left leaning than Tusindfold. Sure. But then maybe they take that mindset into those places and make them better, right? And make them greater. So I think it's not only the craft you learn in Tusindfold, it's also the identity and the a different way of thinking. That's also why, for example, people often mention Green Day as they played there, and I also do that, and I think it's kind of funny that they played there, and I like that. It's not like I'm against Green Day or anything like that, but it's more like I would actually rather take all the small bands that never made it, and when we made that bragging poster at Tusindfold, some people complained, that was not the greatest bands that we saw at Tusindfold. No, that's the whole point. That's the bigger bands. But then we made a call out to people, say, okay, what was the coolest show you ever saw at Tusindfold?
What was the show?
No one mentioned Green Day or anything like that. It was really obscure and
that's understandable.
And I really like that. And I have the same, the best shows I've been at Tusindfold. It's not the big bands. It's the ones that make me think in a different way, or make me see the world in a different light, right?
Well, what's your favorite show you've seen there, if you can name one?
A lot, I would say. I think one of the coolest shows I've ever been there is an American band called Annihilation Time.
Oh yeah,
think they're from New York, actually. Not sure.
Yeah, we have one of their records over there.
They're fucking amazing. And I think it's 20 years ago or something like that. But it was like the whole scenery was that it was in Aalborg. We have this huge carnival, the biggest in Northern Europe. And people are like dressed up and like going to this party. And that show was the day before that carnival. And like, it was me and maybe 10 other people. It was really not a lot of people because a lot of people were waiting for that carnival. And then we stayed with the band and went on to another bar when Tusindfod closed and drank some beers and stuff like that. And then we went home at like 6 in the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning, me and my close friend. And then all these dinosaurs and all these Smurfs and all these dressed up people, like they were coming out to start their party, right? And we were going home after this awesome show. And I think how that whole day worked out made that show even better. And it's experiencing stuff like that where you are there with your closest friends and maybe 10 other people, and then you see this band that'll change your life.
Yep.
Kind of cool. And we need more places like that can host that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you leave it today, you know?
Yeah. Well, everyone, please try to make a donation to the PayPal. Go to the website. It's like the end there. Tusindfod.dk. But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that, you know, we were able to make this connection over the Atlantic. Good to see you again, trolls. And, you know, when here's our annihilation.
Oh, nice one. That's one cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll, you know, hopefully see each other in person next. I'll try to, you know, make it over there, or you can send some folks over here and keep the connections going, because the international solidarity is how we do it, man.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. We need that network or whatever we call it.
Yes, we really do. And yeah, thank you again to New York City Anarchist Book Fair. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of really great people.
Yeah.
And here too.
Yeah, that's good.
And thanks for making the time work. I know that was intended.
Opa.
Your turn. It's your turn.
Opa. Hello. Welcome back to New York City Anarchist Book Fair. 18 years now, and we have an amazing comrade anarchist, doctor, and healer. And the one that was in Occupy Wall Street, really active, and now is doing a lot of activism in Amazonia, in many other places. Alexandre, please.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Adriana, and everybody out there for showing up to our workshop. So, yes, I'm happy that Comrade Adriana mentioned the Occupy Wall Street. We just have had our latest birthday, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about transformational experiences on this workshop, and at the end we're going to have hopefully a vibrant discussion after we talk about what happened in the Amazon this summer. All right, so let's get to it. All right. Adriana, confirm to me if you can see this.
Yes, yeah.
All right, everybody. So again, I'm Dr. Alex Carvalho. I'm a physician in one of the health systems here in New York City. I'm an assistant professor in infectious diseases. And I'm going to be talking about this last summer's tropical medicine and the Black River expedition, and how these generated like opportunities for mutual aid and liberation in the Amazon, Brazilian Amazon. And thank you again, everybody from the Anarchist Bookfair. And this initial image is like, it's from a poisonous frog. It has two of my favorite colors, red and black, for a reason. And these frogs are amphibious, and they're also keen to camouflage. They are found in the Amazon rainforest, and I think that they're a tactical and strategic inspiration for us doing anarchism in the 21st century. So I had this idea of kind of like trying to get work in a way with liberation at the same time. I lost a few of my previous jobs because of my activism. And through like hard experience, I realized that we have to really, in a massive surveillance state, really like work in a camouflaged way and try to get the state and other folks to fund our ideas. You need to like package it in a way. You need to be strategic and be able to still spread the message of anarchy through what you do every day. Something I call micro-revolutions. So this is what happened. We developed this idea of an HIV/AIDS tropical medicine Amazon fellowship in Brazil. Half of it was in a hospital in Manaus, one of the largest cities in Brazil, with about 3 million people. And we had, outpatient care. It's a kind of like a big hospital and reference center there. They have an ICU, and we brought about 5 students to experience this from the medical school that I teach. And on the last week, we took an NGO's boat, which is kind of like a floating hospital. And we went up Rio Negro, the Black River, providing free medical care to about 9 villages. So the objectives to this talk today, just to talk a little bit about this Amazon Global Health Fellowship, to explore the concepts of mutualism, camouflage, and mutation through transformational experiences. And then at the end, open the floor for this discussion about North and South microrevolutions. And last, invite all of you that are watching to be guardians of the guardians as well in the climate struggles that are to follow. So this, like I said, started in 2019, before the pandemic. I'm a physician from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro, and I started to practice medicine here in the US in 2018. And I really didn't want to forget where I came from. So I was like a second-year resident in Michigan for internal medicine. I didn't know what I wanted to do, never been to the Amazon, which is shameful for a Brazilian. And then I had this elective rotation, which gave me the opportunity to kind of do a global health site. And dude, it was really an incredible, amazing, formative experience at this HVD hospital in Manaus, Brazil, and doing volunteer clinical work for free in the Black River. And that changed me and made me kind of choose to do ID, infectious diseases, which is kind of one of the least respected specialties because we don't have procedures. We kind of deal with antibiotics and infections that mostly affect people in the developing world, in the global South. So there's not a lot of interest in primary care or infectious diseases in Western medicine lately. And to be honest, it's probably what we need the most. So because of that, I decided to really do ID. And this experience in 2019 was in Manaus, right there. In the map, it's kind of like the gateway to the Amazon. It's near this beautiful geographic feature of the Encontro das Águas. It's when the two major affluents of the Amazon River meet. The Solimões and the Madeira, they meet, and it's a powerful event that you can see like for freaking space. So this is kind of like a drone image of how it looks there. You can go to one side, with a boat and put your hand on one side, and the other one, you put your hand on the other side. The speed of the water, the density is different, the temperature. So the two rivers, they don't meet for like miles. And this meeting of the waters is a feature you can see from space, which is kind of badass. So imagine having like this tropical medicine experience near this kind of like Amazon paradise, lost paradise. So this is the hospital there that I had contacts. And it's kind of like they have a cool hostel-like space. It's like $8 a day to stay there. There's running water. There's a communal kitchen. You often see a lot of people from like Europe or South America coming to also spend time, usually medical trainees. And in this big hospital, the HVD in Manaus, you had like kind of like the usual medical training events that you see on big hospitals in the US or in Europe. You have like grand rounds, you have MD, PhD programs, outpatient clinics, inpatient clinics as well. And this hospital has been focused for the last 5 years in AIDS, HIV AIDS, in a tropical medicine setting. And in this setting, you see a lot of advanced immunosuppression, people with a CD4 count less than 200, oftentimes less than 50. And this is severe terminal AIDS. And then when you mix that with the diseases you see in the forest, particularly fungal infections, it's a problem. They can get really sick. Furthermore, tuberculosis is very endemic in the region. So you now just imagine what we see. So all of the photos were taken with permission of the patients. So I'm just going to share with you guys. There's no way to identify any of these patients. So this is cutaneous leishmaniasis, one of the kind of diseases you see in the area. Leishmania is a parasite that affects skin, and some strains in the Amazon affect skin and the mucous membranes, causing disfigurement. Reminds you a little bit of Hansen's disease. Lobomycosis, which is a dimorphic fungi. This fungi actually is a slow grower. You see it most on people involved in mining, forestry, and indigenous folks, the povos originários. And it looks like keloids, as you guys can see. And there's unfortunate correlation of it with squamous cell carcinoma of the skin because the lesions just last forever. And this is an image that I like a lot. Is one of the kids that had leishmania. He was using this leaf that had healing properties. And it's well known that the Amazon is the site where many drug discoveries are made from the wisdom of the forest. And there's one leaf in particular called jambu, which has a numbing effect, kind of like the same as the dentist would give to you when they're extracting a tooth. So it's cool to see like the wisdom of the people of the forest. Then on the last week, we took the boat, this Padma boat, and went upstream. You cannot understand Amazonia, everybody, without experiencing the river. Everything happens by the ebb and flow of the river. So now you get this recipe going, a large BRICS country like Brazil with deep-rooted historical inequalities, prevalent HIV. HIV there is highly resistant. There's poor access to care. TB is endemic. You have parasites, fungi, and all of that like wisdom of the forest. You mix it all together, and then you ask, now, can we get some liberation and like free healthcare and anarchy through tactical camouflage? And can we teach trainees and volunteers empathy, cultural humility, and kind of like pass the torch of anarchy to a newer generation? Adriana would probably agree with me that mutual aid and rev must be experienced. It can't just be like theorized. So this is what we did. We went up the river and we developed this fellowship that it's a mix of urban medicine and fluvial medicine. And it was cool that we developed this like north-south collaboration. Now we're talking with them in the hospital of like how to do Cryptococcus research and try to like bring some of good resources to Brazil. And I'm, you know, as a Brazilian, I'm excited to keep pushing that forward. These are the wild students that some of them that accepted to go in this Amazon fellowship with me. And this is us at one of the classes on leishmaniasis. On the left, this is the heel leishmaniad wound. Do you see this little bottom ulcer there that looks a little scabbed? This unfortunately is a recurrence of leishmania. On the right, you see it as the patient came in presenting with this ulcer lasting for months. They usually don't hurt a lot, even though they look gnarly. They don't also itch a lot. So people try everything from mupirocin, local antibiotics, to coffee ground, to butter and earth, and you can imagine what happens. This patient was treated and then unfortunately recurred. On the left here, now this is, all of these are in the hospital in the first half of the fellowship. This patient on the left had advanced HIV/AIDS, and on the torso there on the left, it's kind of like leishmaniasis in an advanced HIV patient. And on the middle and on the right, it's something called Kaposi sarcoma. On the 80s and 90s, people used to have a lot of this in New York and in San Francisco. And we don't see it on the clinic as often nowadays. And a lot of it is just because people have access to antiretrovirals. They're potent. If you're on your meds, you're not going to die of HIV no more. And whoever is dying of HIV nowadays is because of inequities of access. So in this hospital too, we had snake bites too, not just like advanced HIV/AIDS and the diseases we see with that kind of clinical presentation, but also things you see in a forest. This is a Bothrop snake, venomous as hell, called jararaca in Portuguese. And the bite of this patient was on the hand, and it just ascended through the arm, the swelling. This type of venom causes myonecrosis. It just causes necrosis and death of the tissues. It's pretty gnarly, painful as hell. You need to come to the hospital to get serum within 6 hours, which it's a problem in the Amazon. It's vast and all the roads are rivers, and travel takes a hell of a long time when you have a boat. So on the left right there, this is a fungus called Cryptococcus. This probably is Cryptococcus neoformans, which you see in patients with advanced HIV/AIDS. It causes a terrible meningitis picture. And it's treated with IV amphotericin, flucytosine, medications that are highly, you need monitoring of the patient's kidney function. And sometimes you have to do lumbar punctures because the pressure in the brain is very elevated. This fungus causes a lot of inflammatory reaction, especially when the patients are recovering from severe AIDS. You start them on immunosuppression, and then you don't know they had crypto. They kind of present with this severe iris picture, which is called immune reconstitution inflammatory syndrome. Katja on the middle there, she was like the mycologist that helped us and showed us around. On the left, lobomycosis, which is that fungus that I was talking to you guys that looks like keloids, this time on the ears of a patient. And then when you put it on the right side there on the slide, you look this stain showing these yeasts, these little round cells there are lobomycosis yeasts. And it's really hard to culture this fungus. These are my students kind of like teaching each other about HIV/AIDS and opportunistic infections. And then when we had break times, we would kind of like just go to the forest and like feel it and breathe it. And this was a city that it's about an hour and 30 minutes from Manaus. It has 150 waterfalls, caves, and it's a really like badass place to be. You kind of like recharge and it just changes you. So we saw a lot of these diseases that I was talking to you guys about. Cryptococcus gattii, one of the funguses that are endemic in the Amazon and unfortunately hit a kid, an indigenous kid. He was like 8 years old and ended up blind because of it. Unfortunately, we saw vertical HIV transmission, which in the West you barely see no more. And the infant was really cachectic, kind of like emaciated, and our students were like seeing her recover as, you know, treatment was given. It's just tough to see like 9-month-old kids with HIV. This shouldn't be happening anymore. And then not only you saw TB and all of this stuff, neurosyphilis, but also spider bites. So pretty like wild learning experience. I also brought the students to the micro lab to teach them about how organisms grow. Bacteria, we should get inspired in the anarchist movement about how they reproduce, how they move, how they cause tissue destruction, how they defend themselves, how they learn, how to get resistance to antimicrobials. This is kind of like us going to grand rounds and discussing clinical medicine. These are worms. Some of them are unfortunately found most commonly in children. The one on the left is whipworm. The one on the right is Ascaris lumbricoides, measures, I would say about maybe like 7 to 13 inches. They're big. And we also saw like some cases of Oropushi virus, which is a new like disease that it's brewing there in the Amazon. We had malaria workshops too. So all of this kind of like at the same time, I'm talking to my students, which, you know, are from New York, some of them from like upscale neighborhoods, about, you know, global health and the struggle and kind of like fighting, you know, from the ground up and having health education. So this, in a way, you're already teaching and incentivizing this generation to not become like to not just think about the money and freaking like everybody wants to be a plastic surgeon or a dermatologist or a cardiologist. Dude, we need like primary care physicians. We need ID physicians. And it's so hard to recruit people to these specialties. So the whole like idea of this is to get them excited about this kind of stuff. So on the last week, we took the boat and we went up Rio Negro. This Padma boat is kind of like a 2-story diesel boat, 114 horsepower engine, fit about 23 people, and our crew had 20. We had a lot of donated medical equipment, meds. We saw 7 villages in 9 days. I apologize. And we provided like free medical care and kind of like you just live on the boat for 9 days. It's pretty badass. Some of the meds were expired, so 1/3 of them were expired. So we would make sure to remove all of them before we provided it to people. I do have a valid medical license in Brazil as well. You know, from my time working there in Brazil. So this is the dentist, and we had like a little dental office on the boat, and my students were comfy. And then we hit the forest, guys, and Adriana was there with me. It's like the sunsets last 3 hours. The sunrises last 3 hours, and they keep changing. it's really a gorgeous place to be. The river, it's called Rio Negro. It's the Black River. As soon as you get in, you put your hands under the water a little bit, and it's kind of like red, and then you push it a little bit deeper, and it's like black. So it's like red and black. I recommend that all anarchists go and meet the Red and Black River one time in their lives. Lots of kids in the first village that we got, they were just playing around all the time. They were always jumping on the river, and they were curious, and they wanted to like know what we're doing. They allowed us to take our pictures. The pajé and the cacique, the chiefs, also allowed. Obviously, I wouldn't be sharing here if they didn't. And they invited us to have like a breakfast, and they danced for us. I'm gonna try to like show this quick video, and let me see if you guys. Let's start with this one. Can you guys see this? Adriana, can you let me know, please?
Yeah. Can see.
Can see?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the welcoming ritual that Adriana and I and the crew were, invited to experience. So this was the welcoming rite. And then they played this dance. And this one, it's about the origins of the universe on their mythology. They use a particular instrument that it's kind of like a grave sound. And they say that it's like the sound of the universe when it was first born. All right. So that instrument that you guys could hear, boom, 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 that was the instrument that they believe produces a sound that is akin to the origin of the universe. And then we provided free medical care, and they received us, and we had like this exchange, which was pretty cool. And then the healer, the pajé, just like got me and said, "You are the healer, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we were invited to kind of like have a rapé experience. So the pajé put his healer hands in my head, and then he got rapé, which, tastes like tobacco, but very concentrated. And then the pajé goes and like blows this up your nostrils. And I'm not saying that causes you high. It doesn't. At least I didn't feel it. But it was an spiritual experience. It felt like all the pain and sorrow of seeing patients intubated and with rectal tubes and open chests and pus and blood and dying, and sometimes families keeping them alive, prolonging their suffering. Those things in the job of a physician really affect you, cause a lot of like moral injury. And I didn't know how much I was carrying of that pain, of that existential pain. And after this rapé ritual, as he kept singing and kind of like bringing me back, it was gone. It was pretty amazing. And then we kept going upriver. The river, when the wind is not really strong, it reflects the sky like a mirror. And one of our guides called Silvio said to us, like, you guys are Pamuri Mansa. And in the Tucano language, Pamuri Mansa means like the people that underwent the transformation. And that was like deep shit to hear, guys. It was deep. We kept going upstream, and we saw villages with kids and people that, you know, had like whole villages were infested with worms or had severe malnutrition. We had multivitamins, we donated food, we donated clothing, obviously free medical dental care. I think one patient was probably pregnant for 4 months and didn't know. Unfortunately, we didn't have like a pregnancy test to offer testing for her. One patient was being like verbally abused and attacked by the cacique, by the patriarchal cacique of her tribe, because, you know, she was not bringing in money to help him out, to help the village out. And she was depressed. She was anxious. And obviously, at that moment, it's something that you also have to know the limits of the care you can provide. We didn't have antidepressants. Obviously, we didn't have long-term care established yet to really prescribe something like that to people without time to explain to them and all and get their feedback. So we just listened. We listened, and her story was pretty rough. She came from Colombia all the way to Brazil for better like opportunities with her kid, her husband, her mom, and then her mom, which was helping her out a lot, just passed away like a year ago. So, and she's from Colombia, so she didn't apply. She wasn't entitled to Bolsa Familia, which is the support that some people that are very poor in Brazil have from the state. So she was just being harassed. Tough. The Amazon is beautiful and idyllic, but also there's a lot of patriarchy. We saw the botus as well as we were going up. These creatures, guys, they are really gorgeous. They are like dolphins of the river, and they are born with that color you see on the top of them, that grayish hue. And then with time and as they age and through exposition to the acidity of the river, they become pink. So the botus, the pink botus, they're really like known there. And there's even like myths of women that got pregnant and nobody knows how, and she doesn't know how. So it was a pregnancy from the botu. And then if the child died during labor, it was the botu that came to like get their son back to the river. You can imagine how high maternal mortality is and was back in the day. So the botu had this like mingling with the culture of the locals. It's really cool. This is at night. You can see the stars. You can see the plane of the galaxy. We did home calls as well. And you can find some like beautiful vases. These are kind of like pre-colonizing times. So colonization in Brazil started around 1500. These kind of like don't have industrial features. There's like clearly more of a pattern of like an older pattern. And it was a lot of time of downtime. You would just be in the hammocks and chilling and talking to each other and playing music. This is one of the villages that had a small little health unit, they didn't have Motrin or Tylenol. So it was really closed at most of the time. The school there was also closed for 8 months. The teacher went back to Manaus and never came back. And then you're living in this like lost paradise in the middle of the jungle. And then it's time to kind of like come back, at least for us. And I took the plane back to New York. This is the meeting of the waters from the plane. And then the students freaking loved it. You know, it really changed how they see medicine. And that kind of like influenced at least some of them to pursue primary care, which for me, it's a huge win. As a assistant professor of medicine, I want to, you know, bring my students to help in the struggle. And some of the takeaways is that camouflage is a critical tool in the anarchist struggle in the 21st century. The surveillance state is pretty massive, and ways that we can find to do things using tools of the state itself against itself, if you know what I mean. And how just point to capital. Why don't you freaking fund this? You know, this is great, yada, yada. You put it in a little bowl and shit, whatever you need. We need to kind of like Robin Hood. We need to divert the resources to where it's needed. And you need to camouflage to do this well. Mutual aid and liberation come hand in hand. This is something that it's obvious to a lot of us that do mutual aid. The importance of micro-revolutions, like some of these patients haven't seen a doctor in 3 months. They had BV, bacterial vaginosis, or vaginal yeast for months until we came and we brought medicine and we were able to help. And we were able to do health education and teach how to prevent that. Those small things do a huge difference. And the micro-revolution that you cause with those experiences to your students and to people in the struggle, people don't forget that. Anybody that does organizing in anarchist spaces or conventional spaces, it just takes like fucking work and endless meetings for you to really like walk the talk. And this whole like hybrid experience was kind of like thought to like try to instigate mutations in our trainees, our students, our volunteers by these transformational experiences. And having that in a setting of one of the most vibrant forests in the world, it's really like transformational. Kind of like the little red and black frog from the beginning. I invite all of us to think about how can we be amphibious? How, you know, can we live in two places at the same time? Right now, we're doing this over, you know, a hybrid, a virtual platform, but also can we do it on the ground? Can we do the struggle on the ground? The Anarchist Bookfair is a beautiful example of doing this, of having a 3,000 people event yesterday. Congrats again, everybody. And then today we're talking to people all over the world. Be amphibious, kind of like help us be chimeric. Adriana and I have been thinking about trans architecture a lot, about this idea of nexus and anarchism. And we are trying to bring the forest and the city together through this project that, you know, hopefully we will have more time and further book fairs to talk about. Practice and teach anarchy as well as medicine with joy. That's kind of like one of the things that rage and joy are very important in poetry. You do nothing alone, and the great ideas are at the intersection. Now I just want to open up the floors for questions and discussion. So please feel free to drop questions in the chat or just like shout out your question. Thank you very much for the space. Good job, Anarchist Book Fair 2024. Love you guys.
Ale, thank you so much for this incredible presentation about this trip. No, I mean, was like unique, like a really revolutionary action. I think also integrate. No, I mean, the school is in Bronx here, no?
In the Bronx, yeah.
Yeah, talk a little more about the school here in Bronx, how people can know more about the school and your project and everything.
Yeah, so the school in the Bronx, in a way, part of camouflage is also me not mentioning the name of the school and being smart about it. But yeah, it's a large school here in the Bronx that where we have both research, like basic research, as well as clinical medicine and teaching medicine.
Great. Yeah, and how was the integration between the students from New York and the volunteers, doctors in Brazil? I mean, how this happened? How you can, because it was super harmonic, integrate. They get friends right away. Remember, it was like was right away. Everything works well because I think the amount of work is so much that solidarity comes right away to the integration. How was that? How you feel this process?
In the beginning, I felt that we were still different tribes, different groups, kind of like talking hi, bye. But then, you're living on a boat for 9 days. So you really have to, mingle and talk to people. And that, I think, facilitated the integration. That by the middle of the expedition on the Black River, I think we were really connected.
You think it was this moment that we connected when you were in the Black River, like in the middle?
It was beautiful. Yeah. Any questions from the audience?
Any questions for this expedition?
What advice would you give to someone who's coming to Brazil blind? Like what would be the first thing you want someone who's just coming in from the first world, a lot of privilege and a lot of ignorance to know when they're entering the Amazon?
Well, I couldn't hear well. So for somebody with privilege.
No, they come.
So a question would be, what advice would you give to someone who's coming from like a developed nation with a lot of privilege and a lot of ignorance who's just entering the Amazon? Like, what would you tell them so that way they could integrate better and not be very ignorant when they arrive?
I think cultural humility, and particularly in global health and as you're doing healthcare, there's a reason they don't trust, Western medicine. There's a long history. In the US to this day, you have pretty crazy stories of exploitation of minority populations. So there's a reason, and you have to meet them where they are, the patients. And that leaf, maybe if you're arrogant, you're thinking that that's just some dumb local, way of taking care of things. But then you learn that the leaf has numbing properties. So it's humility. I think it's important.
Cool. Good to know.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Any more questions? I gotta go.
I think it is that, my love. Thank you so much for this amazing presentation.
Of course.
And I mean, I think you plan that more times, no? I mean, how is the future because what I think now, Amazon is in fire because the corporations, I mean, the fascism is everywhere nowadays. And these healings groups that try to, do something, no? You see more ways that people can collaborate from New York to the indigenous, to the population, to the quilombolas and ribeirinhos in Amazonia?
Yeah, I think we're already planning to come back in 2015 in the summer, and we will probably try connecting with people in Pará. They have a project called Saúde e Alegria, which they mix the same fluvial healthcare work with circus and art. I think that would be really cool. that's kind of like the next step that I'm thinking, guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ale. I know that you are in the middle of your work in the hospital doing that. And
No, I'm not in the hospital. I'm not on call today, but I have to be alert.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Much love to you.
So
Bye.
much love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Fotógrafo jornalista, por favor, atrás da linha aqui, ó.
Já pode o linha.
dessem mais importância pra gente do que dão importância para esses ratos de paletó que estão lá dentro, que são verdadeiros mentirosos, que não estão lá dentro pela proteção das nossas florestas e do meio ambiente, que estão lá, na verdade, por benefício próprio.
E fere ao nosso direito, fere a nossa Constituição,
nós como um direito originário de ter nossas terras, né? E que na verdade hoje nós assim, ocupamos essa terra que é do governo federal, né? Não é nossa, né?
Eu vejo que quem mais preserva, né, as florestas são vocês, que estão aqui dentro, né? E só utiliza aquilo que realmente precisa, né? Não desmatam. Vocês são os verdadeiros protetores da floresta. Só para ter uma ideia, né? Se a gente olhar aqui a imagem, do lado de cá do rio a gente tem aqui as terras do dia. Do outro lado, você vai ter campos, florestas, né? Com gado já, né? Aqui não, aqui as coisas estão acontecendo, a história, né? A história viva. A gente vai lutar, continuar lutando para que esse PL 490 ele não seja aprovado.
E a gente realmente assim hoje sofre, né, com essa PL que desde 2007 que vem transitando, que fere os direitos da população, né? E hoje com isso a gente tipo assim fica muito assustado, com muito medo, né? Porque como eu falei atrás, já fomos dizimados, né? Várias etnias, né?
Então o PL ele acaba que ele é um retrocesso, né? Para quem mora aqui e aquilo que o cacique colocou, né? Deixa com medo, né? Fica com medo porque não sabe o que vai acontecer amanhã.
Dessas leis, né, que vêm, né, impactando a demarcação de terras indígenas, né, no Brasil, no Acre, né. E hoje a gente tipo assim sofre porque essa terra é do governo federal sempre eles nos ameaçam, né.
Estamos aquí en el COP para dar a conocer al mundo, para nuestras familias, para que nos puedan ayudar y beneficiar todo lo que necesitamos, porque nosotros somos los guardianes de nuestro territorio, que es de 3 millones de hectáreas. Y estamos bien preocupados. Aquí nuestro gobierno del Ecuador nos está presionando para sacar el crudo en nuestro territorio. Y ¿qué nos garantiza el gobierno para la niñez forárea? Y nos preocupa que el gobierno ecuatoriano venga a plantear aquí en el COP sobre la conservación, pero todo es al revés. Quiere sacar el crudo en nuestro territorio. Por eso hemos venido para dar la voz, que escuchen, y también están escuchando allá en nuestro territorio, están esperando nuestra noticia, una buena noticia para poder trabajar en proyectos alternativos para sustentar a nuestras familias. Y lo importante es nuestro territorio, la defensa territorial.
Amigos, estamos aqui nessa luta, né? Mais uma vez, batendo de frente com esse governo aí, esse desgoverno, né? Que a todo momento tenta criar estratégias de dizimar as populações originárias. Estou aqui com o meu curumim, né? Porque a única esperança que eu tenho é neles. Essa luta hoje é para que eles compreendam a importância, né? da gente ter nossos territórios demarcados, a nossa floresta no lugar, os nossos rios, meio ambiente, né, que é o que nos proporciona a vida, né? Não tem vida sem terra e não tem vida sem demarcação. Então, é uma luta que vem se propagando há mais de 521 anos, mas um índio na guerra, ele não cansa. A gente está aqui, né, para não só mostrar, mas independente o que tiver de fazer, a gente vai fazer para estar afirmando que o índio na guerra, ele não cansa. Por mais que eles tentem anular nossa existência, por mais que eles tentem silenciar nossa voz, por mais que eles tentem matar nossos corpos e acabar com a nossa natureza, a gente está aqui, a gente vai continuar resistindo por mais 521 anos, se for necessário, que a futura geração está vindo aí. E eles vão ter consciência de que a luta pela mãe natureza é a mãe de todas as lutas.
I am here from the Amazon to denounce the exploration that is being done to our lands by big companies.
Nós somos os verdadeiros guardiões da floresta amazônica. Nós estamos lutando, temos lutado todos os dias para protegê-la, mesmo que para isso nós tenhamos que dar a nossa vida. E nós vamos continuar lutando. Nós fazemos isso não somente por nós fazemos isso por vocês também. Nós estamos lutando uma luta diferente para proteger a Amazônia contra a exploração predatória que todos os dias bate na porta dos nossos territórios. Nós precisamos do apoio de vocês. Nós precisamos estar juntos para defender o pulmão do mundo, que é a Amazônia. Uma das verdadeiras soluções para a crise climática é devolver os territórios sagrados do nosso povo. Demarcação já! Demarcação já! Demarcação já!
Mais ou menos assim.
Isso não está tendo, né, esses conteúdos que disponibiliza realmente para enriquecer mais o conhecimento sobre os povos nativos, né? Então hoje a gente atende a demanda, né, pela saúde da humanidade, pela cura da humanidade, pela vida da humanidade. A gente hoje, né, trabalha em cima disso para a gente poder realmente, né, ajudar as famílias que precisam.
Sim, acho que a gente já conseguiu avançar bastante, né, com essa visibilidade.
Yo
Sim, acho que a gente já conseguiu avançar bastante, né, com essa visibilidade internacional. Hoje a PIB articula uma rede internacional que está sempre muito atenta, né, ao que está acontecendo aqui, a cada mobilização que a gente faz, a cada pauta que é colocada no Congresso Nacional, né, ou mesmo no Supremo, a exemplo do marco temporal, né, a gente chama essa rede internacional tanto de comunicação como de movimentos sociais, né, e eles têm respondido. Tanto que hoje acho que a gente consegue estar, né, nas mídias nacional a partir da pressão que é feita primeiro, né, da comunidade internacional. Então a gente tem conseguido fortalecer muito essa relação e acredito que já conquistamos assim um grande espaço, né? Hoje a gente consegue já perceber essa diferença, né, do que era essa visibilidade indígena há 10 anos, né, há 5 anos e como está hoje. Tanto por quem quer proteger, né, assim, como por quem quer atacar. Então, é aquela história, né? Fale bem ou fale mal, fale de nós. E aí, com isso, a gente vai conseguindo chegar, né, para sensibilização. Porque eu acho que é importante a gente fazer esse chamado para as pessoas, né, essa aproximação, e a partir daí, né, dessa sensibilização, a gente chega nessa consciência, né, que é conhecer, entender os povos indígenas como parte do meio ambiente, não como a parte, como parte da natureza, que é o que todo mundo precisa, né, para que possa garantir sua própria vida. Então, assim nós somos, né, povos indígenas, mãe terra, natureza, né, somos um só. Então, é território, corpo e espírito que precisa ser protegido, né, para que a gente possa garantir a continuidade da vida no planeta. E tanto a comunidade nacional como internacional precisa dessa compreensão.
I'd like to just take a moment to say something.
Every so often, the foundations of power shift. Cracks appear. Ground gives way, and all of a sudden, walls come tumbling down. Most of the time, these dislocations are small, localized tremors, a settling of scores, or revenge against a petty tyrant. But sometimes, they're earthquakes. Massive social ruptures that topple established hierarchies and draw millions into the streets to shake off their chains and lay waste to the institutions of order. For days, weeks, or months on end, the alienating thrall of authority and the banality of everyday life are replaced by visions of intoxicating possibility and unity of purpose. These glorious moments of insurrection remind us what it means to be alive, to be truly free. And then they end. The state figures out a way to catch its footing, steady itself, and adapt to the new reality. It recuperates those it can and represses those it can't. For those who have lived through such moments of exhilaration, a return to the status quo can be too much to bear. Some sink into despair and disillusionment. Others into compromise and pragmatism. But there are also those among us who refuse to accept the victory of defeat, who get up, dust ourselves off, and begin preparing for the next uprising, the big one, the one that will destroy the state, smash the rule of capital, and overthrow this miserable system once and for all.